So it really is quite easy for the majority of Americans to get IDs. I don't understand why you have to show an ID to see an R-rated movie, at mainstream theaters all across the country, but you don't have to show an ID to vote.
Oh, that might have been the one thing I missed in my list of everything you need an ID for. I didn't say an R-rated movie. Well, there you go. I'm glad you brought the San Francisco thing up, though, because San Francisco is just starting to implement a ballot measure that they passed in 2016 that's going to allow illegal immigrants to register to vote and vote in local elections. They say it's for school board. My question is, and by the way, they say this is never going to carry over. They're not going to be able to vote in state elections or in federal elections, presidential elections, because that's against the law. How are we going to know, though? How do you enforce that? If we don't have voter ID, how do you prevent these people that are already in the voter rolls from walking in and saying, yes, please, I'd like to vote for president, if we're not allowed to verify who they are?
So I love to use facts, but I also sometimes need the slippery slope argument. And as we have seen with many awful things that happen in the state of California, I'm afraid that this law is going to go the way of the slippery slope. They're going to have completely separate ballots from what the Secretary of State of the state of California has already confirmed and approved for those local ballots. Those ballots are paid for by our tax dollars and printed for every precinct. As you and I both know, my school board election is on the same ballot as the mayor of Los Angeles and the governor of California and the federal senators and congressmen that we send to Washington, D.C. So it's going to start with, oh, yeah, we'll keep it separate, but then it's just going to be too burdensome and time-consuming and expensive. So they might as well just be on the same ballot, and the slippery slope will have been
right, like
down.
Leave it to the honor system and say, well, they know they're not allowed to vote for president, so they won't. Well, there's no way to verify. That's not fair to any American citizen who's casting their vote, because every time there's an instance of voter fraud, even if it's one vote that's fraudulently cast, that dilutes your vote, my vote, and the vote of everyone who's watching this program. I personally think it's not just a slippery slope. I think it's a little bit more of a diabolical scheme. I think Democrats know what they're doing. They know that by registering these illegal immigrants to vote locally, that there is going to be some carryover into people casting their votes fraudulently, and that's what they want, because studies have shown that when illegal immigrants do participate in voting, they vote for Democrats.
And this isn't just a problem here in our state of California, where you and I both reside. This is a problem nationwide. And of course, the argument that the leftists always use, you just debunked with those facts showing that 97% of minorities in the country that are American citizens have IDs. Of course they have IDs. They traveled, they have jobs. They had to prove that they have Social Security numbers so they could get paid by those jobs. They pay taxes. They send their kids to, private and public schools. There's so many people that this isn't an argument, even though you'll still be hearing it over on MSNBC, that if Republicans want voter ID laws, therefore we must not want black people voting. And that's just a bunch of crap.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube.